Man, I like Deontay Wilder, man. I'm a fan. It's still Bomb Squad all day. And really and truly on Sunday, the last video I wanted to make about this Wilder and Tyson Fury fight was the aftermath. After that, I was done with it. You know what I mean? There's other stuff in boxing to talk about, but apparently not, man. I was planning on making other videos, which I still will. We got fights coming up this weekend. I still got some other videos that I'm gonna put up during the week. And like I said, the aftermath was the last video I was trying to do. But Deontay Wilder, man, he's still in the press. You know what I mean? You know, he's still out there, man, making excuses. You know what I mean? Excuses after excuses, man. He's in denial, man. I think you need to snap up out of it. You know what I mean? Because this is now Tuesday, and the excuses now. The video I made yesterday about his 45-pound costume weighing him down, and that's the reason why he was tired. I didn't like to hear nothing about that. You made that choice to come in with that extravagant costume. You know what I mean? But Deontay Wilder is not just blaming the costume. You know what I'm saying? He's blaming guys like Anthony Direll, Mark Breland, Kenny Bayless, everybody except Jay Diaz and himself. Rather than looking himself in the mirror, which you have to, man. I was at the basketball court last night at the gym indoors, and for the most part, man, we was talking. Well, the people, look, I don't be really telling people I know personally in real life that I do have a boxing channel. You know what I'm saying? You know, most of the people who are subscribed to me, I mean, there's a few, I do have some friends who are subscribed and family members, but for the most part, I don't go telling everybody, hey, man, go subscribe to my channel. You know what I mean? We talk boxing. I be trying to catch fellas slipping, trying to act like they know boxing. And when we get to talking and when they talk some rubbish, some garbage, then I check them right quick. You know what I mean? Because I'm all about that boxing ish. You know what I mean? I stay in tune every day. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, everybody in the gym who did watch the fight was disgusted with the comments Wilder was making about the the um the costume outweighing him. You know what I mean? I told him, nah, man, that ain't the reason Wilder lost, man. Wilder lost because he was getting punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? And body shots. He was getting his ass handed to him. You know what I mean? So, Wilder now is suggesting that Mark Breland was influenced to throw in the towel by Anthony Direll. Anthony Direll he's not from Detroit, from Flint, Michigan. The Direll brothers. You know what I'm saying? And apparently Anthony Direll was seated near Wilder's corner. And according to Wilder, Anthony Direll was repeatedly yelling to Wilder's trainer to stop the fight. And apparently Anthony Direll is trained by Sugar Hill Stewart. I didn't know that because I watched Anthony Direll's last few fights, and I ain't see Sugar Hill in his corner. Now I do know that the Durrells have trained in the Crunk gym before. You know what I mean? When Emmanuel Stewart was around, as they should be in Michigan natives. You know what I mean? You check it. So as James Toney. James Toney wasn't in excuse me, trained by Sugar Hill, but he definitely got in some work at the Crunk gym. You know what I mean? So Wilder now, who's 42-1 with one draw, 41 KOs. Um, Looks like he's still, the blame game's still going on. You know what I'm saying? According to Mark Breland said to Wilder, quote, "It's a human immediate reaction. Like, I didn't want to see you get hurt." Quote. End quote. You know what I mean? Um, I'm gonna read you some quotes from the man Deontay Wilder about the blame game. Okay? Quote: "But I was hurt way more in the first Ortiz fight than in this situation. I still had my mind. I still knew what I was doing at certain times. I still knew how to move around the ring. Although I didn't have the legs, I knew how to move around the ring. Shit, I was 42-0, 10 consecutive title defenses. I know what I'm doing in there. It may look a certain type of way, but when you're talking about a Deontay Wilder, I'm never out of a fight because of my tremendous power. We've seen that many a times. I'm never out of a fight. And I'd rather go out on my shield and my sword than anything. By Mark Breland knowing that and then Jay, which is a head trainer, Jay told him not to do so. He still proceeded with it. It's kind of hurtful, man. It really makes you think about different things. I don't want to put negative thoughts in my head or have any kind of conspiracy theories going on, but it makes you think somebody that did not something that's not up to him, and even when they're instructed not to, they still proceeded on. And then getting influenced by the opposite team. One of the guys that trains with the opposite trainer, it makes you think. He was influenced by Anthony Direll. They said Anthony was in back of him screaming, "Throw the towel in." We love our champ. And Anthony works for Sugar as well, the opposite trainer. Tyson's trainer. And Anthony works for Sugar as well, the opposite trainer, Tyson's trainer. Direll works with him too. Breland said he didn't hear nothing, but everybody's saying the same thing. A lot of people that's around, a lot of people that was in my camp. And if everybody's hearing it and my people in the corner can't hear him, and Mark said he can't hear him, there's something wrong with that. It's a lot going on with Mark as well. But we're going to make a big decision by the time I get back from Africa. And we're going to go from there. End quote. So apparently Wilder's making a trip to Africa in late March next month. Yeah, go do some soul searching, my G. You know what I'm saying? Go do some soul searching and man, tap into your ancestry or something. Do what you gotta do, you know what I mean? Because in my opinion, I wasn't mad one bit with what Mark Breland did, throwing in the towel. I've never been mad, even when I seen Junior Jones versus Marco Antonio Barrera and the trainer basically came up on the canvas, on the ropes. I'm sorry, in the ring. You know what I mean? And was waving his hands like stop the fight. I wasn't mad one bit because a a a a, a, a trainer knows a fighter better than everybody. And the man Wilder was not in position to really, sure, Wilder has the one hitter quitter, but we can't really compare this fight to the Ortiz fight. Ortiz rocked him in round 7. Wilder had dropped him in round 5. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like Wilder was out of it. It wasn't like Wilder was being wobbled all over the ring. And even when he got caught with the right hook by Luis Ortiz in the first fight, you know what I'm saying? Wilder was doing what you're supposed to do. He was trying to clinch, trying to smother the man's punches, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't just no high guard, just trying to keep the high guard up, even though he did at times in between that. However many seconds it was up until the bell rang, you know what I mean? Wilder had put the guy on the canvas, and Wilder still had steady legs, you know what I mean, by clinching. And, he still caught some left hands, especially that one on the ropes by Luis Ortiz, straight left hand down the pike. But at the end of the day, this was different, man. Wilder's balance was way off, you know what I mean? Wilder's punch output was severely low, especially in round 6, the round before he got stopped, Wilder was leaning on the guy, and that's another thing. Wilder's making excuses about Kenny Bayless letting this guy, Tyson Fury, all lean on him and fight dirty and stuff. It's a fight, and I personally had no problems with how Fury was fighting, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? As far as the leaning on him and stuff, and, you know, let me try to find some quotes about Wilder talking about Fury. Fury fought a dirty fight, and Kenny Bayless let him do it, you know what I mean? Try to find some quotes. The man even deducted a point from Tyson Fury, so I don't understand. Okay, let me read some quotes about Wilder talking about Kenny Bayless. Quote, When I woke up in the next morning, I felt so many knots and bruises in the back of my head and neck. After the first knockdown, I turned over immediately to look at Kenny Bayless because he just made his speech about how he was going to take points from me and disqualify me if I hit in the back of the head and hit after the break. But I guess those rules just applied to me and not my opponent because he did it all night long and didn't get penalized until it was too late. I immediately turned around and opened my arms. I was like, "What's going on, bro? Are you serious? Did you see that? After that speech that you gave me, you're supposed to protect the fighter." Fury was putting me in headlocks and still hitting me in my body, leaning over on me and still hitting me in the body. And due respect to him, he's doing what a fighter's supposed to do. Fight and win. If you're getting away with dirty tactics, then why not keep doing it? So I understand. It's up to it's up to the referee to be a man of his word. You come back here and you're doing all this fancy talk. Wilder's basically referring to Kenny Bayless coming to the locker room and giving instructions about what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. So let me resume. Quote, "It's up to the referee to be a man of his word. You come back here and you're doing all this fancy talk saying you're going to abide by the rules. It just seems like I can't get the right referee in the ring to save my life. One took too long to count, and one allowed dirty tactics, and then took a point away when it was too late, when it didn't even matter no more. And Fury knew it. He knew it. He didn't come to box. He came to fight dirty, and the referee let him get away with it. But I congratulate him on his win and the accomplishments that he's done, and I'm very excited for him moving on." End quote. He's very excited for him moving on. I don't know about that. I don't think he's excited for him moving on with his title. You know what I'm saying? But again, he's blaming Kenny Bayless. Kenny Bayless even took a point. Now he's talking about that it was too late. What do you mean it was too late? I thought, Wilder, you have that one hitter quitter and you're never out of a fight because of your power. So, look, man, I'm a fan of Deontay Wilder, man, but really and truly, man, I'm a fan of boxing first and foremost. And it's still Bomb Squad all day. And if he fights Tyson Fury again, I will still be rooting for Deontay Wilder. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? I've been riding with the guy the whole time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of Tyson Fury as well. You know what I mean? And made the best man win. But I'm not on no tribalistic shit. It's I have no agenda of why I would want fighter A to beat fighter B. You know what I mean? If may the best man win. If Wilder can't beat, that's why I said go in for the rematch again. If you can't beat Tyson Fury, life goes on. The boxing world moves on, and we will be looking for an opponent for Tyson Fury to fight, and that is none other than Anthony Joshua. Period. That's why I haven't really been talking about the undisputed fight. What's the point of talking about an undisputed fight when we knew months going into this second rematch fight that there is a rematch clause for a trilogy? We know this, you know what I mean? It's not anything about I don't want to see undisputed. Are you kidding me? Look, man, I've been wanted to see undisputed, but it's not up to me. It's not my wishes. You know what I'm saying? And it's not none of y'all neither, fans sitting on your couch. It's up to the fighters and the promoters to get together and decide if they want to have an undisputed fight. It's funny to me how Anthony Joshua, apparently, we don't know this for a fact. You can't believe what Eddie Hearn says, you know what I mean? Or any promoter for that matter, you know what I mean? But talking about, oh, as soon as the fight was over, AJ got on the phone immediately with me. This is what Eddie Hearn says, and said, make the fight happen by any means necessary. It's funny how the man Anthony Joshua never had that same type of energy when Deontay Wilder was a champion of beating guys like the last two opponents he beat all through his title defenses. So I don't believe none of that. That's just talk, man. I'm all about that action, you know what I mean? Show me the better than you can tell me, you know what I mean? But at the moment right now, Wilder's doing too much, but not enough, you know what I mean? You check it, like I said, when he goes to Africa, man, do some soul searching over there. But at the end of the day, all these excuses, man. The dog Direll. I seen him at the fight. I seen him ringside. He had a kind of big chain on. You know what I mean? No medallion on the joint, just a chain by itself. And that guy got nothing to do with you losing the fight, man. Anthony Direll got his own demons to conquer, and that's the David Benavidez fight. And you know, so no. Javon Sugar Hill is not always his trainer. Sugar Hill wasn't his trainer in his world title defense against David Benavidez. You know what I mean? Mark Breland did the right thing, really and truly. I honestly do believe so. Wilder was getting the ass whooping of his life, and it was only in the seventh round. Okay, Wilder was at times not even letting his hands go. You know what I mean? His equilibrium was off, his balance was off, his legs, everything, man. It was just a no-win situation. You know what I'm saying? Let me read what fella's talking about in the chat right quick. All right. Where we at in the chat? Manda Solo S says, while there's a lay, how can you use costume as an excuse? I don't understand it neither, and I didn't appreciate neither, man. Mando Solo says he lost because Fury is a superior boxer, and if he runs it back immediately, it'll be the same outcome, maybe even worse. Maybe, you know what I mean? But I do believe Deontay Wilder was handicapped, you know what I'm saying, by his equilibrium being off, you know what I'm saying, the blood coming out of his ear, you know what I'm saying. It was just they were discombobulated in that corner, you know what I mean. Now I do believe if the fight does happen, a rematch, and Wilder isn't, his balance is straight, then sure, I think he'd put up. I mean, we've seen the first fight. The first fight went 12 rounds, and it was a draw. Wilder fought and boxed to a draw. That's what I had on my scorecard. You can say what you want. You could say you had it Tyson Fury winning every single round, even the rounds he got dropped. That's up to you. At the end of the day, I had it a draw. The judge, at least one or two judges, or was it one judge, had it a draw. One judge had Wilder winning, which I don't believe that, But at the end of the day, I don't know if he'll be if the outcome may be even worse. It could be worse if the guy is disoriented like he was in the second fight. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, I want to see the rematch straight up and down. You know what I mean? Fuck all that protecting fighters, man. Go get tune-up fights. Tune-up fights for what, man? Floyd Mayweather fought Castillo through a close fight. You know what I'm saying? He did an immediate rematch. Castillo had a tune-up fight in between. You know what I'm saying? We check it. So that's what it is, man. Zaza Silly, what the deal? Zaza Silly, Zazie Silly. I always say Zaza. What's up with you, dogs? Good to see you, my African brethren in the house. Big up, big up. He says, big up, B. Marsh. I think Wilder needs to take a small media timeout. He's not doing himself any favors by saying too much. He made the decision to run it back, so that says enough in terms of wanting it. Absolutely. He should just give the man Wilder's, I'm sorry, feel he is props, you know what I mean? Which he did after all the excuses, talking about he's excited for him. I don't believe that one bit. But yeah, you won't get your titles back, you know what I mean? You check it. But if you're gonna take the rematch, stop all the yapping and go train, you know what I'm saying? Go to Africa, get some soul searching, tap into your ancestry, you know what I mean? You check it. Maybe you might get some powers from Nigeria, Burkina Faso, or West Africa, where maybe your roots come from, Benin, wherever. Maybe you rediscover yourself, whatever you might need for motivation. Do what you got to do. But I want to see the rematch. Forget about it. I want to see the rematch. Mando Solo says, Fury ain't Ortiz. Fury's a young guy in his prime. Ortiz blew his load after that onslaught. Dana Kostanenko says, Wilder's a great fighter. He lost because Fury was better, and I think his weight made difference also, but Wilder's a great fighter. I agree with you 100%, Dana Kostanenko. You don't become 41 or 42 and one draw by being a bum fighter. You know, you did knock out 40 plus guys. Nobody was really rushing to get into the ring with you besides Tyson Fury, who I always thought would beat Deontay Wilder as far as in a boxing fight. But when the man came back from the PEDs and how he looked against the Safaris and the Pianettas and weight loss and stuff, everybody thought that Deontay Wilder should take advantage and beat this guy. But like Tyson Fury says, and he said it very well. If I just came off the couch off a cocaine binge, alcohol binge, suicidal thoughts. He didn't mention nothing about his PED scandal. You know, he didn't mention nothing about that, but he mentioned all these things that kept him out the ring, ballooning up to 400 pounds. And if Deontay Wilder couldn't beat me in the first fight when I just came back from facing all these trials and tribulations, then how was he going to beat me again? And that's a great quote from the man Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? How's he gonna beat him when the man couldn't even beat him up coming off the couch? You know what I'm saying? So I agree with the man Tyson Fury 100%. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Where we at? Dana Kostanenko saying Direll was smart. Hey, if Direll was really had no agenda and was really, you know, worried about Deontay Wilder's safety, then I'm not mad at him one bit, man, because Wilder was getting hurt, man, and just like Dana Kostanenko said, we don't want to see any more situations like Maxim Dadashev or Patrick Day. You know what I'm saying? And Breland is a former fighter, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, American amateur champion of all time, two-time welterweight champion, WBA titles. You know, he did get his ass handed to him by Marlon Starlin. That's a great fight. If you ever want to see a little guy um, pummel and batter and just mollywop a taller fighter with a long reach for 12 rounds all over the ring, then go watch the first fight between Marlon Starlin and Mark Breland. That was a great fight, man. I was just so impressed with how Mark Breland just brought it. I'm sorry, Marlon Starlin brought it to Mark Breland. You know what I mean? But he's a former fighter, and if J Diaz is the head trainer, come on, man, you would have got Wilder hurt real bad, and he wouldn't even be able to fight in a rematch. You know what I mean? So props to Mark Breland, man. No complaints from me from him stopping the fight. Mando Solo says Wilder's a great puncher, but not a great fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, man, and he's just not a great boxer. You know what I mean? Zaza Silly said, well said. Their job is to protect the fighter. Absolutely. Brooklyn Child Boxer, what the deal? BK Child in the house. Salute. Hey, Brooklyn Child, what part of Brooklyn you from, my G? Let it be known in the chat, you know what I mean? Brooklyn's like a whole city with mad neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Just like Washington, D.C. is a big city with not, not as big as other cities, but it's a big city with mad neighborhoods, you know what I mean? Um, Brooklyn Child Boxer says, salute, B Marsh. Wilder's knocking out Fury. That's the energy I'm going to put in the atmosphere. Hey, man, I'd love to see it, man, and it can happen. You know, Wilder got the one hitter quitter. It's not far fetched for him to knock out his opponent. That's why on the betting odds, there ain't no money for a Deontay Wilder knockout. You know, there might be some money on the odds of a Deontay Wilder knockout in the third fight because maybe the Las Vegas think he can't knock Fury out. But anything could happen, and I'd like to see the rematch. That's just what I'd like to see. Then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? A breakdown and prediction uh, uh, I'll definitely do one for the third fight when it does happen, and I'll just give you my honest opinion what I think will happen. You know what I'm saying? What the deal, Mr. Boxing Today? What's going on, my G? What's up with you, dogs? Mr. Boxing Today in the chat, man. Salute to him, man. Salute to Brooklyn Child Boxing, everybody. Fellas, go subscribe to both these guys' channel, Mr. Boxing Today and Brooklyn Child Boxing all day. Brooklyn Child Boxing, man. Be dropping that fire, man. So do Mr. Boxing Today. BK Chow said is this matchup is deeper than boxing. Wilder needs to rewire his mindset to knock out Fury. Absolutely, and that's why I want to see the third fight. How many times have we seen Wilder just falling all over the place? He damn near he did the Bermain Stavern tackle that Stavern tackled Wilder in the first fight. You know, after he had got dropped. You know what I mean? So I think that the man Deontay Wilder was just his balance was off, man. His legs, just everything was off. You know what I mean? There was a point he got tripped, and he just, even the first knockdown. Did you see his back right foot just slip from under him? You know what I mean? It slipped from under him like somebody pulled a carpet from under him. You know what I'm saying? On some Aladdin shit and just yanked that joint and the man went down. You know what I'm saying? Just watch the shit again. I'm not making no excuses for Wilder, but just look at his back right foot and how it just went up from under him. You know what I'm saying? When he got caught, he was probably trying to move, and that's when he got caught. And that's when, like I read in the quotes, he was looking up at the man, what's his name, at Kenny Bayless, like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Um, Brooklyn Child Boxer says, born in Crown Heights, raised in Canarsie. Crown Heights, true indeed. Crown Heights, man. There was a rapper from Crown Heights I used to mess with back in the day, man. A dude named Half a Mill, you know what I mean? From BK. Was down with AZ, man. Rest in peace, man. My guy was one of those dudes, People talk about Big L as they should, but for fallen soldiers, man, that man Half a Mill. Man, some niggas rich and some niggas man, that joint he had on the Belly soundtrack. This is late '90s, early 2000s. Half a Mill, you know what I mean? But big up to Crown Heights, big up to Canarsie. You just had another MC who passed away from Canarsie. Pop Smoke, man, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Well, I'm not, but Canarsie is one neighborhood I've never been to in Brooklyn. I've been to Crown Heights, been to Brownsville, Mother Gaston, Livonia Ave. I've been to, of course, downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene. Um, where else in BK? Bed-Stuy, you know what I'm saying? Flushing Ave. I used to go get some eats at this spot called the Ital Shack on Liberty Ave. Um, Flatbush, of course, you know what I mean? Church Ave. The 20s, the 90s, 40s, 50s. Been to all them neighborhoods, Utica, you know what I'm saying? But I've never touched down in Canarsie, you know what I mean? Big up BK Child, word up, man. Mr. Boxing today says the Amanda Solo S. Fair enough, but I'm not sure how a non-great fighter goes 9-1 with 9 KOs in a 11 fight heavyweight championship run. Wilder isn't a great standard fundament. Wilder isn't a great standard fundamentally sound boxer. Mr. Boxing today says AZ is one of the original slick talk, get fly style rap artists. Absolutely, man. Man, AZ's that dude, man. Anytime he got on a record with Nas, I thought he always body Nas. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But what Mr. Boxing today said to Mandel Solo, those comments by a man like Mandel Solo, it's like when Mayweather Pacquiao used to happen, when guys would say Pacquiao's a bum. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, are you what the hell? Are you serious? You know, they would try to say Pacquiao's a bum and this, that, and the third, and he comes in with his head first and all this kind of stuff. And I'm looking at him like, okay, so if he's a bomb, then Floyd Mayweather's a bomb too, cause he beat a bomb. You know what I mean? That's just the talk from guys who don't give fighters their respect. You know what I'm saying? You've been watching the guy the whole time. The guy has one mishap, one loss in over 41 fights, and fellas just call him, that's just that talk, you know what I mean? That's why I don't even engage. And I watched your live stream, the joint I was in, Mr. Boxing today on the weekend. I think you went 3 hours long, and you kept replying to guys who would said some egregious stuff, similar to what like Mando Solo said, like, oh, the guy can't fight, he can't do this, he can't do that, he's a bum, you know. Yeah, but they favorite fighters wouldn't get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean? Sure, Luis Ortiz is an older statesman, but hey, man, it's the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? I've seen George Foreman win a world title at 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? The 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 maturation of heavyweight fighters uh, could go on to their 40s. You know what I mean? It's not like the smaller weights where you might be a flyweight by the time you're 30, you done. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's not like that with the heavyweights. You know what I mean? So that's just the talk people be saying when you know, they got an agenda themselves. You know what I mean? But Luis Ortiz is 40 years old, but how comes nobody else other than Wilder wanted to fight him? And he was also Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko and Tyson Fury's mandatory. None of those guys fought him. So, it's up to you, Mando Solo. I just ain't flame you up because you ain't say nothing, disrespectful or nothing, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you gotta give everybody who get in the ring props. You know what I'm saying? Um, Wilder lost, and so have a lot of fighters. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Muhammad Ali get put on the canvas. Was it in round like 15 or 14 versus Joe Frazier? You know what I mean? You check it, mean left hook, and Ali got up. You know what I'm saying? Ali ain't look good in that fight. It was a war. His face was all swollen. So after that, was people supposed to write off Muhammad Ali? And I'm not saying Deontay Wilder's Ali. I'm just giving you another heavyweight example. You know what I'm saying? You know, I seen Riddick Bowe just beat up Holyfield in the first fight. Used the inside game, the body shots, just a bigger, stronger guy. Yeah, we got the rematch. And I will agree if it wasn't for Fan Man, you never know. It was a majority decision victory for Holyfield. Very close fight. They had a 28 to 30-minute intermission to get rid of Fan Man. But at the end of the day, Holyfield got himself back in position. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. He lost to Michael Moore after that. You know what I'm saying? But you seen what he did to Michael Moore in the second fight. He mollywopped him, pummeled him, dropped him like 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? So it's boxing, dogs. You know what I'm saying? I don't get into all that talk about just trying to shit on the fighter because they took their first loss. This video ain't nothing about what happened in the ring with Wilder. It's all about the excuses. I'm not a fan of the excuses. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Wilder fan, bomb squad all day. You know what I'm saying? This is USA, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Look at the gate that they did. You know what I mean? Broke all kind of records. You know what I'm saying? I hear the pay per view. I'm about to do my research. I heard it's about to do like 2 million views. You know what I mean? But yet nobody knows Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear that talk no more from the UK guys. They can't use that nobody knows Wilder shit anymore. That's out. They can bash Wilder and troll him all day for losing, which is it's their time to shine. You know what I'm saying? When AJ lost, I ain't get into all that stuff. He lost. I was on Boxing Beats and Rhymes live stream the night it happened. Everybody was shocked. I was super excited. Like, oh my gosh, man, this is history. Jesus Christ, I ain't seen nothing like this in the heavyweight division. This is on some Mike Tyson versus Buster Douglas. You know what I mean? But I didn't make videos all day. The next day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, bashing the guy. The guy lost. He lost. Did I want him to go into the immediate rematch? Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't one of those guys who kept talking about uh, uh, Wilder and Ruiz undisputed because I knew that there's a rematch clause. You know what I mean? Now, if a man decides not to go ahead with a rematch like Jared Hurd versus Julian J. Rock Williams, now we can start talking about undisputed and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. Mr. Boxing Today says exactly. Yes, indeed. Mike 104 says, what's up, Mike 104? What's going on with you, man? He says, fans calling these champs bums, but they probably never boxed, looking like Dan Raphael. Looking like Dan Raphael and Jay Diaz. Absolutely. You know what I mean? I don't know if Mando Solo ever boxed, but You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, people talk about Luis Ortiz blew his load out at round 7. He won round 8. He even won round 9. You know what I'm saying? Um, After that, and he got stopped in round 10. So if he blew his load in round 7, how'd he go on to win the next 2 rounds up until he got caught again and got stopped in the 10th round? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't make excuses, man. That's what we're not gonna do. You know what I mean? And you check it. So yeah, man. Big ups to Mando Solo, Zazie Sealy, Dana Kostanenko, BK Child Boxing. Big up to my guy, Mr. Boxing today. Salute to everybody who came through in the chat. Mike 104, thanks for coming through. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. Leave your thoughts and comments about Wilder's excuses blaming Kenny Bayless, blaming Anthony Direll, blaming Mark Breland, blamed everybody except himself. You know what I'm saying? And he gave Fury his props, but that was after all the excuses, you know what I mean? And I'm not feeling the excuses. You check it, because really and truly, I think it's the hands that made the man Wilder disoriented. Not no costume, not Kenny Bayless, not nobody. Kenny Bayless even took a point away from Tyson Fury in the knockdown round to make it a 9-8 round. You know what I mean? Mike 104 says, I hope Wilder has enough time for his ear to recover. If it's not fully healed, then he's vulnerable in his next fight against whomever. Absolutely, man. But I heard it wasn't no perforated eardrum. It was a cut that required X amount of stitches. You know what I mean? So we shall see, man. But be Marsh Boxley. Your thoughts and comments. Let me know what y'all think about Wilder. Shout out to everybody, and I'm gone. Peace.